Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. In the name of Allah, the Beneficent, the Merciful. Assalamu alaikum, ladies and gentlemen. A very warm welcome to you all. My name is Muhammad Ali Mooni. I am a moderator for the day. Uh, I would like to first of all welcome you all on this orientation session of the launch of Pakistan Institute of Taxation in collaboration or in affiliation with Chartered Institute of Taxation UK. Before starting the proceedings of the day, let's first start with the recitation of the Holy Quran. Let me share the screen with you guys. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين الرحمن الرحيم مالك يوم الدين إياك نعبد وإياك نستعين اهدنا الصراط المستقيم صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين. صدق الله العظيم. So in the name of Allah, the Beneficent, the Merciful, I once again all welcome you all to this launch of Pakistan Institute of Taxation. Before starting forward, let me first again congratulate the principal owners, the collaborators, the affiliators, the members of the Chartered Institute of Taxation UK, because I feel this is a hallmark achievement to bring an international body into Pakistan and to collaborate and work with them for the taxation issues and the issues pertinent to taxation. I personally feel that this will turn out to be one of the great achievement for the students, for the aspirants, or for the career graduates to come in, because this will open many doors, many facets, many genres, and many avenues for you all to go into the next move, take the next move in your career. And definitely with this firm knowledge of taxation, you will have a leap of faith in moving upwards in your career. So mera khayal hai ki this is one of the biggest achievement. And once again, congratulate the principal owners, because you are tapping the market which was not yet tapped in the Pakistan. Congratulate to Rory and team for coming up with such a great initiative. Congratulate to Mr. Muzammil, who's a director here. And congratulations to all the representatives of the Pakistan Institute of Taxation. So I'll be talking about the stuff and how things will in how with this session going forward. But let me first invite Babar. He is the representative of Pakistan Institute of Taxation, right? So to start with the presentation and to let the audience participant know what exactly the theme is and what exactly this qualification about and how things are moving with the ADIT and stuff like this. I personally feel, Babar, this is a very new initiative and not many people are well versed with how things are and what this body does offer. So I would just request you to give a deep insight, a bit crisp one, so that people could affiliate themselves and they could get to know the better. So over to you, Babar.
Thank you, Mr. Muhammad Mooney. It is a great pleasure to be here today. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome and good afternoon. It is afternoon in Pakistan. So, my name is Babar Shah, one of the representatives of the Pakistan Institute of Taxation. इसको थोड़ा सा bilingual कर लेते हैं because most of our viewers are from within Pakistan. Let's make this a little bilingual. I'll be sharing my screen now, and my responsibility would be to share half of the presentation, and the other half would be done by Miss Aisha, who is the other representative here. So can everybody see my screen? Can I get a thumbs up? Can anyone confirm if they can see my screen? All right, perfect, perfect. So about Pakistan Institute of Taxation, हम सिर्फ पाकिस्तान की बात नहीं कर रहे, all nations of taxation, particular हर जगह. Yeah, what it means, right? So वन ऑफ द बेसिक एजेंडाज इज टैक्सेशन की जो एजुकेशन होती है, ट्रेनिंग होती है, पाकिस्तान में वो फिजिकल होगी। लेकिन अगर आप बाहर से ज्वाइन कर रहे हैं हमें, इफ यू आर फ्रॉम अ फॉरेन कंट्री, देन द ऑप्शन फॉर ऑनलाइन सेशंस एंड ऑनलाइन ट्रेनिंग्स, ऑनलाइन सेशन और ऑनलाइन ट्रेनिंग के भी ऑप्शन आपके पास अवेलेबल है। बट अगर हम मूव ऑन करें, व्हाट डू वी एक्चुअली प्रोवाइड, हम जो अप्रूव लर्निंग पार्टनर है उस पर हम चलते हैं। वी आर द अप्रूव लर्निंग पार्टनर ऑफ द चार्टर्ड इंस्टीट्यूट ऑफ टैक्सेशन यूके फॉर फॉरेन टैक्सेशन एंड ADIT। एंड देन हम जो वेरियस प्रोग्राम ऑफर करते हैं उसमें इनकम टैक्स और सेल्स टैक्स की सर्टिफिकेशन और ट्रेनिंग की इंक्लूड है। अगर आप इसमें और ज्यादा जाना चाहते हैं, देन वी आल्सो हैव एन ऑप्शन फॉर कस्टमाइज ट्रेनिंग प्रोग्राम्स। और कस्टमाइज इन अ सेंस के अगर आपको स्पेसिफिकली कोई चीज चाहिए, कोई रिक्वायरमेंट है आपकी, इनकम टैक्स और सेल्स टैक्स टुगेदर, सेपरेट, और फर्दर जाना चाहते हैं, देयर आर मेनी थिंग्स इन टैक्सेशन, उसकी भी कस्टमाइज वर्कशॉप्स हमारी अवेलेबल हैं। We move on to tax education and training by our institute. So there is of course the foreign taxation certificates. इनको हम further explain आगे जाके आगे slides में करेंगे by one. Foreign taxation certification obviously जो भी बाहर countries की taxation है वो हम आपको facilitate उससे करेंगे. And then one of our specialty is ADIT. Our director, Mr. Muzammil Himani, is also an ADIT qualified. So this is also something we're offering. Not many institutes in Pakistan as well is the income tax certification training and sales tax. There are two major chunks होते हैं taxation के, वो income tax और sales tax ही होता है। अगर आपकी कोई भी इसमें like you want a training in particular in these two regions, we can provide you with that as well. And then we have the foreign tax certification. We are going in depth, थोड़ा सा in depth में बात करते हैं इसके बारे में. So number one, we have certification in international taxation. So again, जो भी international taxation certifications available हैं, we will be providing you with that as well. Now, the other thing which is very important is certification and transfer pricing. This is also an element of taxation. Taxation जो आप पढ़ते हैं, so transfer pricing is also something you have to study along with, and opportunity जो आप लोग avail कर सकते हैं. And then we have modular certification, international taxation and transfer pricing. अब ये इसमें तो सारी चीजें mix हो रही है. Like आपके पास international taxation भी है, आपके पास transfer pricing भी है. So everything comes in together here. And then if we move on to advanced diploma and international taxation, the biggest selling point, the ADIT, इसके तीन major papers है. Paper one, principles of international taxation, जो basically basics cover करता है and everything, the principles जो सारी होते हैं. And then next we have the jurisdictional module. This is available for the Singapore option, available for Singapore students. And then we have paper 3.03. This is the thematic model. And again, transfer pricing option. Transfer pricing is very important. Now we have income tax certification and training. इसमें these eight are what we have, and then अगर इसमें और भी कुछ आप चाहते हैं, we can also facilitate that as well. Let's go एक एक करके हम इसको चलते हैं. There's corporate annual income tax returns and related aspects. Companies की annual tax returns file होते हैं, उसके हवाले से सारी चीजें हैं. E-filing of income tax return, e-filing of income tax basically online किस तरह आप अपना income tax file कर सकते हैं. Taxation issues faced by managerial level positions. अगर आप अपनी company में any kind of industry के, let it be like manufacturing or education or any of the if you organization and you're a manage and you're a part of the higher management there, and you look over taxation. So जो भी issues आपको उसमें face होते हैं, you we would be covering that as well. There is income tax, advanced tax, and withholding tax provisions. This is also an option available. Then we have international tax and double tax treaties. Moving on to, we have tax compliances for business individuals. अगर आपका कोई business है और उसमें आप कोई ट्रेनिंग चाहते हैं, आपको कोई आइडिया नहीं किस तरह बिजनेस की टैक्सेशन करते हैं, we are there to help you out with that as well, to educate you and train you in that particular regard. And then we have taxation for salaried individual. आप किसी कंपनी में काम करते हैं, आपकी एनुअल सैलरी आती है, आपकी मंथली सैलरी होती है, इसको आप किस तरह टैक्स में कन्वर्ट करते हैं, किस तरह आप टैक्स देंगे, किस तरह टैक्स फाइल करेंगे, ये भी कवर करते हैं. And then taxation for non-resident. If you are a non-resident in Pakistan or in any other country, we will be educating you in that regard as well. Moving on to sales tax certification training. Again, this ये दूसरा chunk है taxation का जो it's very important. So first we have federal sales tax scope and determination of tax liability. अगर आप federal capital territory में, तो अपना scope of tax liability किस तरह determine करेंगे, आप किस तरह tax pay करेंगे. If you are in any province of Pakistan, or then how would you determine? There are four provinces in Pakistan. If you're in Sindh, if you're in Lahore, any of the other two, Khyber Pakhtunkhwa, KPK, एंड सो किस तरह आप अपनी टैक्स लाइबिलिटी वहां पे बैठ के अपनी डिटरमिन करेंगे बिकॉज सबके रूल्स लॉज बाय लॉज अलग होते हैं एंड देन वी हैव सेल्स टैक्स रिटर्न फेडरल एंड प्रोविंशियल आप सेल्स टैक्स रिटर्न आप किस तरह कैलकुलेट कर सकते हैं या उसमें क्या निटिग्रिटीज होती हैं एक्सेट्रा देन वी हैव फेडरल एंड प्रोविंशियल सेल्स टैक्स विद होल्डिंग अगेन विद होल्डिंग एंड रिटर्न ये दो अलग अलग चीजें होती हैं then we have record keeping compliance requirement under federal and provincial sales tax laws अगर आप टैक्स पे करते हैं तो आपको कुछ records मेंटेन करने होते हैं बी एट अगर आप पर्सन है इंडिविजुअल कंपनी बिजनेस यू नेम इट जो भी इंडस्ट्री में आप फॉलो करते हैं आपको कुछ रिक्वायरमेंट्स होती हैं कि आप ये records मेंटेन करें एंड देन वी हैव ऑडिट प्रोसीडिंग्स अंडर द इनडायरेक्ट टैक्स लॉज नाउ इसमें अगर आपके ऊपर कोई ऑडिट कर रहा है फॉर एग्जांपल इफ एनी one is filing an audit against you then or if you're filing an audit onto some entity इसको किस तरह करते हैं and then appeals and complaints under the indirect tax laws अगर आपके ऊपर कोई फाइल कर रहा है तो उसमें आप अपील किस तरह कर सकते हैं फॉर एग्जाम्पल इफ यू आपके ऊपर जो हुआ है यू थिंक दिस इज नॉट एक्यूरेट दिस इज नॉट करेक्ट यू कैन फाइल एन अपील टू द कोर्ट उसके भी तरीकेकार होते हैं एंड देन वी कैन एजुकेट यू ऑन दैट एज वेल And if we move on to our guest speakers and course facilitators, first we have Mr. Jonathan Tennant. He is the Managing Director, Anderson USA, ex-Managing Director, International Taxation, KPMG USA. Then we have Ms. Shabana Begum. She is the Partner, Transfer Pricing, KPMG Middle East, ex-Director, Transfer Pricing, KPMG UK. Then we have Mr. Kamran Butt, FCA, Senior Partner Taxation, KPMG Pakistan. And then we have Mr. Heather Patel, FCA. He is the Senior Partner Taxation, EY Pakistan. Of course, we have more. We have Mr. Mohammad Raza, FCA, Partner Tax, AF Ferguson's PwC Pakistan. We have Mr. Tariq Tunyo. He is a CSS officer and MBA, Commissioner FBR and SBR. And of course, we have Mr. Muzammil Himani, ACA, ADIT, UK, International Taxation and Transfer Pricing Expert. Ms. Tanzeen Fatma, FCA, Head of Tax, Unilever Pakistan. And last but not least, Mr. Zishan Zafar, Executive Director, KPMG, and Mr. Zain Khan, Director, Transfer Pricing, Pakistan. Now, if we move on to the next slide, एलिजिबिलिटी क्राइटेरिया क्या है आपने तो सारा सुन लिया अब आप सोच रहे होंगे कि आखिर मैं किस तरह क्वालिफाई हो सकता हूँ कि सारी क्वालिफिकेशंस के लिए सर्टिफिकेशंस के लिए द थिंग इज कोई भी कर सकता है एनी वन विद बेसिक अंडरस्टैंडिंग ऑफ द टैक्सेशन प्रिंसिपल्स कैन ज्वाइन आपको थोड़ा सा एक्सपीरियंस भी है 6 महीने 1 साल का भी काम आपने किया है टैक्सेशन में you can join. अब ये beneficial किन लोगों के लिए specifically हो रहा है? Like for example, if you take someone जो कोई psychology पढ़ रहा है या कोई arts पढ़ रहा है, अब this is not relevant for them. But कौन-कौन इसको benefit उठा सकता है? We have tax practitioners, people who are in the field of taxation जो tax रहे हैं. We have tax and finance professional in the industry, which could be any kind of industry, like I mentioned before. It could be manufacturing industry, could be in education, could be hospital, could be banking, any of the industry. उसमें भी वो वाले जो प्रोफेशनल्स है टैक्स एंड फाइनेंस के इसका फायदा उठा सकते हैं एंड देन वी हैव प्रोफेशनल्स प्लानिंग टू मूव अब्रॉड एंड अप्लाई फॉर जॉब्स देयर हमने जितनी भी बात की है वो फॉरेन सर्टिफिकेशंस पे तो अगर हम यूके की फॉर एग्जांपल अगर बात करें तो इफ़ यू हैव एन एडीआईटी तो आपको बाहर जॉब ऑब्टेन करना या जॉब मिलना आपके लिए काफ़ी आसान हो सकता है दैट इज यू विल गेट एन एज बेसिकली now we have students planning to get an additional certification and diploma obviously if you're a student you're doing a qualification आप कोई qualification कर रहे हैं and if you go for an interview and the other person उसके पास एक qualification कम है और आपके पास ज्यादा है which basically gives you an edge आपको एक edge मिल जाता है उसमें and ज्यादा qualification means आपकी job security भी बढ़ जाती है आपकी qualification बढ़ जाती है you are jack of all and in this case master of all as well not master of none so, and then we have now the word dropped out. We can't really say for that, but people who are planning to switch. अगर आप कहें कि आप अगर drop out कर दिया आपने छोड़ दिया for example CMA, ACCA, CA Pakistan or any kind of accountancy professional qualification और आप कुछ और सोच रहे हैं कि अब मैं क्या करूं मैं क्या कर सकता हूं तो this again the field of taxation ADIT the foreign certificates we are offering is also a very good option for you कि आप ये भी कर सकते हैं and now if we move on to the next slide we have scholarships and fee waiver. अब ये किन किन के लिए available है? It is available for either students or members of ACCA, IFA, ICAP, which is CA Pakistan, PIFA, and ICMA. And this brings me to the end of my presentation so far. There will be a Q&A session. आखिर में Q&A session होगा. And then if you have any questions or concerns, वहाँ पे आप लोग address कर सकते हैं. Now I will be giving the screen back to Mr. Mohammed Ali Mooni. Thank you.
Thanks, Babar. It was really insightful. What I have understood up till now is that basically there are two sets of item which you were covering in your presentation, right? The one was the international qualification, which is being offered by the ADIT, right? And there you have
Yeah.
to give three papers, right? One is international taxation, another is the transfer pricing, and third is the jurisdictional stuff which you need to choose amongst others, right? And you have explained the fact that this is recognized globally. And second was the set of trainings which Pakistan Institute of Taxation offers in the various different dimensions, be it sales tax, be it income tax, or be it any other taxation related affair. Am I right up till now?
That is exactly correct.
Cool. So, okay, so that's great. Now, before moving on, I would request you guys to please keep posting your queries. Our queries, either you can have this in the chat box or you can WhatsApp your queries at 0335 282 9829. शून्य तीन तीन पाँच दो आठ दो नौ आठ दो नौ. You can post your queries there as well. Okay, so moving onwards, I would now request Mr. Rory Clark. It's been an honor that we have Mr. Rory Clark with us. He is an ADIT manager at the Chartered Institute of Taxation, which is one of the leading professional body of UK, and he is responsible for overseeing the promotion, development, and delivery of the qualification and the entire stuff there. Right. So he has been engaged with several ADIT stakeholders in different parts of the world, in different geographies of the world, and he is supporting the objective of the institution, which is to develop the ADIT at a global platform, right, and could be one of the leading choice for the tax practitioner. So, Rory, I would like to welcome you and I would like to thank you, and I hope that next time we'll be meeting you physically in Pakistan. So, over to you, Rory. The forum is all yours.
Thank you very much, Mohammed. It's obviously a great pleasure to be joining you all on this session and introducing you all into the wonderful world of ADIT. So I will be talking about a little bit about the CIOT, the Chartered Institute of Tax, what we do as the UK's leading professional body for tax professionals in the UK, but mostly I'll be focusing on ADIT, which is our international tax qualification and certification program. So just bear with me a moment and I'll set the slide up. Okay, so can you see the slide okay there? Brilliant. So as I say, a little bit of kind of introductory information about the CIOT. We are the leading body, professional body in the UK for taxation. We have around 18,500 members, as well as approximately 6,000 students currently on our books. And those students are pursuing, by and large, one of two qualifications, either the CTA, Chartered Tax Advisor, domestic UK tax qualification, which focuses, as you can imagine, specifically on the UK tax system, and is the is the chief certification for tax advisors practicing domestically within the UK, and then alongside that, ADIT, the Advanced Diploma in International Taxation, which is our international tax offering and is promoted by us around the world and designed to offer tax professionals around the world who are focusing on international and cross-border tax matters, an ideal way of developing and demonstrating their expertise and improving their international tax careers. So here's the main structure of the ADIT qualification, and this is for those who pursue the full ADIT qualification. As mentioned, we do have additional certification options focusing on transfer pricing specifically and international tax, which involve a smaller number of these modules. I'll talk more about those later. But the core qualification is structured in this way, that it requires each student to do a total of 3 modules, 3 exams essentially. One of those is a mandatory module covering the principles of international taxation, and that really is the kind of, for most students, it will be the first module that you do as part of your ADIT studies. It looks at how the OECD model tax convention works, the UN model tax convention. It talks about how double taxation treaties work, and things like that. So really kind of the core underlying subjects in international tax that the other modules will then build upon. So in addition to that mandatory module, most students would do any two of these option modules, and as you can see, those cover a wide range of subjects. Some of them are jurisdictional, so for instance the Singapore module, the UK module, Australia, and so on. And then others are thematic, so we have this transfer pricing module. We have a couple of modules focusing on the European Union, one on direct tax, one on indirect tax, upstream oil and gas, banking. In addition to that, we also, this is kind of more of a minority interest among our students, but we give a further choice. If you want to do an extended essay on a different tax subject entirely, as long as it's looking at some form of international tax subject, it doesn't have to be one of these subjects that we have these exam modules for, but we give students the further option if they want to of doing an extended essay in place of one of those exam modules. So here are the various certification options that I broached earlier. The full added certification, that's that kind of main that main option that you have of doing 3 modules and getting the full added certification at the end of that. If you do those 3 modules, you'll get the full added qualification. You can then become an international tax affiliate if you want to, and get the letters added after your name and various other benefits. In addition, if you just want to do 1 or 2 modules, you can do one of these modular or standalone certificate options. The modular certificate means you need to do the Principles of International Taxation module and then 1 other module. For the standalone certificate, you just need to do 1 module. You can do either the Principles of International Taxation module or one of the thematic modules, for instance, the transfer pricing module, and that would give you that transfer pricing certificate. All of these certification options are internationally recognized. We have students and added holders in approximately 120 countries. We only launched added in 2004, so it's still, in comparison to, for instance, our CTA qualification, it's still a very young qualification in terms of the length of time that it's been offered. But in that time, it's really grown very, very rapidly and spread around the world to the point now where we have over 1,200 international tax practitioners around the world, in countries around the world, working in a wide range of different senior tax roles who have completed the added qualification and done gotten the full certificate and are recognised in their fields as international tax experts. So the question is, who is added for? Well, if you want a professional qualification recognising your expertise in international tax, or if you're seeking some form of professional complement to a postgraduate degree or a domestic tax qualification or related accountancy or law qualification, or simply if you have a personal desire to increase and develop your international tax skills and knowledge, then it's a great way of achieving that. It's a great way of demonstrating your knowledge to employers and to clients as well. It is pretty unique as a professional qualification rather than an academic qualification that's recognised by a leading tax professional body and therefore confers quite a lot of cachet on those who complete it. Really going to be enables you to stand out as an international tax expert. There are a wide range of reasons why you might want to do added. You might be attracted by the fact that it's flexible. We've made the qualification as accessible as we can to a very wide, diverse global audience. there are a range of different ways in which you can study for the exams. Obviously, Pakistan Institute of Taxation are supporting ADIT by developing training options to give you the option, to give you the ability to learn the subjects that are covered by the ADIT exams. And we have a wide range of different learning providers around the world that offer those kind of tuition options. Increasingly, those are available online as well, even before the pandemic, but especially since COVID-19, we've seen a real trend towards online learning among the various ADIT learning providers. The exams themselves can be sat at home online to make it as straightforward as possible and as easy to fit around your existing busy lives. And obviously, with the current pandemic, our exams are COVID secure. No matter what happens in the wider world, you can sit your exams. You can study online and then sit your exams online at home if you want to. It's a great way of not only enhancing your own career and your own knowledge, but that of your team and your organisation. The vast majority of ADIT students and holders work full-time in tax, in international tax, for a wide range of different different employers, within accountancy, the legal profession, working in-house in industry, for many for multinationals, working for the government, for fiscal authorities, or in academia. And no matter what form of organisation you're working in, and those around you can always benefit from your knowledge that you will learn in international tax by doing the ADIT exams. So, as I say, in terms of studying for the ADIT exams, there is a wide range of different methods of study available, and with the Pakistan Institute of Tax offering that training, my colleagues on this call will be able to further apprise you on how the training will be offered and how you'll be able to access it in preparation for the ADIT exams. If you do go on and complete the full ADIT qualification and do those 3 modules, you will at that point be eligible to become an international tax affiliate. And this gives you an ongoing subscription with the CIOT. It's an annual subscription, so you would renew once a year at the beginning of each year, and that would give you a range of benefits to your career and to your professional identity, access to various resources, free entry to various ADIT webinars, and discounted entry on a number of other online events that we're now offering, and CPD and career development opportunities. Some facts and figures about our global ADIT population. As you can see, approximately 80% of our population globally is outside the UK, representing a large number of countries and territories. The average age, 36 years. I think that's a key one, because while ADIT is pursued by a wide range of people at different stages of their international tax careers, the average ADIT student is at a fairly mid-career stage, so it often won't be the first professional qualification they'll have done, but it will be the one that really opens up very niche doors in international tax to them, and allows them to demonstrate their commitment to specialising in international tax, whether they're coming from an accountancy background or from a law background. You may have a law degree, but want to specialise much more in international tax law. Equally, you might have done ACCA or one of the other accountancy qualifications and be looking to focus much more narrowly on international tax. Either way, ADIT is a great way of doing that. And here you can see a bit more detailed information about that spread of international tax professionals who have chosen ADIT, the types of employer that they work for, and where they're based in the world. As I said, 80% are outside the UK, and a growing number of that is in the Asia Pacific region. We have lots of students in South Asia in particular, and we are keen to further grow the number of students in Pakistan and elsewhere pursuing the qualification. Here are just some of the major employers where ADIT professionals work. And again, you can see it's a really wide spread of accountancy firms, professional service firms, law firms, major multinationals working across a wide range of industries that employ their own in-house tax teams. And because they're multinational, their tax teams want people who specialize in international tax. So again, having the ADIT qualification really does open up these doors. Fiscal authorities as well, they're the IRS, HMRC, and so on. So wherever you're looking to work in international tax, ADIT is a great way of achieving that. We have an academic board. These are some of the leading lights in the academic pursuit of international tax, and their function within ADIT is to guarantee the standard of our exams and our qualification. They oversee each set of exams, make sure that the qualification is continuing to challenge students to really to demonstrate the highest levels of international tax learning, make sure that each exam meets the necessary standard of assessment, and they also supervise the expansion of the ADIT syllabus, which since we launched ADIT back in 2004 has grown from, I think we initially launched with 4 different exam options. We now have around 17 and counting. So just as the international tax community pursuing ADIT has grown and expanded over time, so the range of the ADIT syllabus has also expanded to meet the demand of international tax professionals around the world for focused learning that's specific to their needs. Our fees are pretty straightforward, really. No matter what exams you want to do or which certificate you want to do as part of your ADIT studies, you would first need to register as an ADIT student. That currently costs £215, and when you register and pay that fee, that entitles you to 5 years in which to complete ADIT exams. If you want to do 3 ADIT exams and get the full ADIT certification by doing 3 modules, then you have 5 years to do that. But equally, if you just want to do one of the modular or standalone certificates, so for instance, if you just want to do the certificate in transfer pricing or the certificate in international tax that just includes the principles of international taxation module, you still pay that initial student registration. That gives you 5 years in which to do that. If you then, having done that certificate, want to go on and kind of upgrade to the full ADIT qualification, then as long as you're still within this 5-year period, you can do that just by kind of topping up with the necessary number of exams, necessary number of modules. Each exam costs £195.24. We have exam sessions twice a year, June and December. So there's effectively up to 10 opportunities within that 5-year period to enter for exams, and it's entirely up to each individual student. You might want to sit all 3 exams in one go. Equally, you might want to space it out, and probably the more common option is to kind of space it out, maybe sit 1 exam a year, so as not to not to overload yourself. Obviously, a lot of students are combining their ADIT studies with full-time jobs, so it is a lot to take on in one go, but that's entirely up to you as a student. When you complete ADIT, if you then want to take up that option that I mentioned of becoming an affiliate, there is an annual subscription for that, and that's currently £173 there, as you can see, for a 12-month subscription. So those are the facts about ADIT. Obviously, if you have any questions later on after this session, feel free to contact me. You can go onto our website there, www.adit.org, or you can email me or call me using those details there. Now, in the meantime, I'm happy to answer any questions that you may have about Adit.
Right. So, Rory, thanks a lot. I have a couple of questions in my mind. And for example, if we talk about Pakistan, so we are very proud to have one of the leading exports of accountants abroad, right? And 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 we have a recognition across the globe that Pakistani accountants give something, a metal to the table, and there is something out of it. So I hope with this we have a taxation hub, international taxation hub as well. But how do you see the export of the service going with this added qualification, and particularly on the online platform? Because you see these days the job dynamics are changing as well. There are many people abroad who is hiring consultants on online platform, and there are certain online consultancy going on. People are working as a freelancer. So do you think with this ADIT tag on your name, this will add value, particularly on the freelancing front and stuff like that?
Yes, absolutely, I would. I think in a way we're fortunate in that current global trends, obviously and so much of this has been accelerated even in the last 12 months by the pandemic. I mean, I'm working from home right now, as I'm sure many of you are, and the ability to be able to work remotely and engage with clients and stakeholders and partners, in other countries around the world, as we're demonstrating right now, is a key ability to have, and one that's only going to become more and more important in future. So with that in mind, any qualification that does give you an international profile enables you to understand customs and laws, and gives you other knowledge across borders, as Adit does. I think is going to become more and more useful going forward. The Adit qualification, because it gives each student the choice of tailoring which exams they do, which modules they do, and which subjects they learn about, really kind of has that emphasis in mind. And for instance, I saw on your on the introductory slides that the Singapore jurisdiction module had been picked out as one that that is supported by Pakistan Institute of Taxation. Obviously, Singapore is a significant international tax hub, and the ability for somebody in Pakistan to learn about the Singapore tax system, or any other country's tax system through Adit, and be able to relay that knowledge to clients as they need it, if those clients have involvement with those countries, is a really key skill and something that would set you apart.
Right. So can you, is my voice clear? Sorry, can you hear me? Yeah. So I was just thinking one more question. For example, if you talk about Pakistan, one of the developing countries, right? So the matter of taxation are at a different helm of affairs as compared to a developed nation, let's say like a UK. We have different issues pertaining to FATF, you say, or to pertaining to how money being laundered, or stuff like this, or money being sent to different jurisdictions. So do you think if I pursue this qualification, I'll be able to contribute to the policy level affairs of the country or any country? Will this qualification give me an insight of the territorial issues and the policy level through which I can contribute?
Yes, potentially. I mean, to an extent, it would depend on which module you pick. If you were to pick one of the jurisdiction modules, then the content of the syllabus for that module will include, it will obviously include kind of the institutional context of how tax law and practice takes place within that country, vis-a-vis other countries. Equally, that there is kind of growing emphasis within the within kind of the multilateral practice of tax with initiatives like the OECD BEPS initiative, the MLI that's come out of that, on the great need going forward for cooperation between different countries, and including in particular as well with the UN's emerging role, with the interplay between developed and developing nations, and how tax can be done fairly, involving taxpayers and governments across those what had previously been kind of divisions. So certainly doing the added qualification and having an understanding of those emerging trends, I think would be to your advantage if you did want to be able to kind of get involved in as a stakeholder in those future developments.
Yeah, you know why? Because I asked this question because when our political leadership keep on telling us that we have a huge amount of money of Pakistanis lying abroad and stuff. So I hope that with multi-dimensional knowledges and approaches, the people preparing to this qualification can add value here as well. So thanks a lot, Rory. I would request you guys to keep posting your questions. I have given the number as well, 0335-282-9829. You can post your questions there. Now, now I would like to invite Miss Aisha. She is the representative of the Pakistan Institute of Taxation, and she will be taking you to the procedural affairs, operational affairs, and how to pursue and what is the roadmap. So, Aisha, over to you with the request to be short and crisp because we have 15 to 20 minutes more to end this session. Over to you, Aisha.
Assalamu alaikum. Everyone can hear me?
Yeah.
Okay, my name is Aisha and I'm working as a project lead in Pakistan Institute of Taxation. I will be continuing the presentation. So first, let me tell you the key dates and deadline of foreign tax certifications and different certifications. We are having two sessions.
Can you please shift to slide mode?
Okay, we are having, is this okay? Hello? We are having two sessions. First session will be in June and second session will be in December. Orientation session for the June attempt will be conducted in January, and last date for course registration will be Feb. Our session will start from March and it will continue till May. We will conduct physical workshop in May, and you can appear in exam for CIOT in June. For next semester, for next attempt, which is in December, we will be conducting orientation session in December attempt. Our course last date for course registration will be August. Session will start in September and it will continue till November. We will conducting a physical workshop in November and CIOT exam will be held in December. Moving toward next slide. As far as key dates and deadline are concerned for Chartered Institute of Taxation, for June attempt, last date for registration is 20th February. Student can register before 20th February. Exam and entry deadline is for June attempt is 16th March, and paper will be held from 7th June onward. And for June attempt, result will be announced in August. For December attempt, last date for registration is 31st May. And exam entry deadline is 16th September. Paper will be held from 7th or December onward, and result is expected on 18th February. Okay, it is not necessary that you have to give all three papers for ADIT. You can only give one paper or two papers. You can only do certification in international taxation, or you can do certification in transfer pricing or modular certification. For fee structure for certification in international taxation for students residing in Pakistan, it's 42,500. For students residing outside Pakistan, it's £325. For certification in transfer pricing, student residing in Pakistan fee structure is 47,500 and a student residing outside Pakistan it's £350. For modular certification, in modular certification you have to give two papers that is international taxation and transfer pricing. For student residing in Pakistan, fee structure is 82,500 and for student outside Pakistan, fee structure is £650. And if you want to pursue ADIT and you have to give all three papers, then fee structure will be for paper one it is 42,500. For paper two it will be 49,500, and for paper three it will be 47,500. And for student residing outside Pakistan, for paper one fee will be £325. For paper two fee will be £375, and for paper three fee will be £350. Our admission process is very easy. You can visit our website and वहाँ पर हमारा admission form given है. आप easily अपनी सारी required detail fill करके admission form अपना fill कर सकते हो. Once we will receive your admission form, तो हम आपसे अपनी bank details वगैरह सारी share करेंगे और आप payment करने के बाद अपना जो भी evidence है या screenshot है आप हमें email कर सकते हो या WhatsApp कर सकते हो. एक दफ़ा आपकी जब पेमेंट रिसिप्ट हमें रिसीव हो जाएगी तो हमारा आईटी डिपार्टमेंट आपको एक लॉगिन आईडी और पासवर्ड प्रोवाइड करेगा फॉर करंट सेशन जिसके लिए आपने रजिस्टर किया होगा और वो पूरे सेशन आप उस आईडी पासवर्ड से अपनी सारी क्लासेस देख सकते हो. Still, if there is any query, you can visit our website www.tax.org.pk. You can write us email on info@tax.org.pk or you can call us or WhatsApp us on 0334 1829 1829. Thank you.
Right. Thank you, Aisha. Thanks for the details and stuff. There are queries flowing in, and I hope Muzammil will be addressing. So next we have Mr. Muzammil, the Director Sahib, with us. Let me introduce this gentleman. He is the qualified chartered accountant from Institute of Chartered Accountants of Pakistan, and he is the member of various committees of ICAP and Karachi Tax Bar Association. He has been one of the favorite, I must say, teacher in the CA profession, and he has taught somewhere around 3,000 to 4,000 students. And currently, he's also serving in one of the biggest MNCs in Pakistan and having the global footprint. And he's looking into the taxation affairs of UAE, Bahrain, and Bangladesh. Last but not the least, he is also the youngest qualified ADIT in Pakistan from Chartered Institute of Taxation. So, Muzammil, one question from my side before you start. If you are the youngest qualified, so how old are you? And if you can tell us, I'm pretty sure he won't tell this to us. And over to you, sir, for your presentation.
Assalamu alaikum everyone. Can you all hear me?
Yeah, we can, but if you can, the voice is a bit low.
Now it's fine.
Better.
All right. So thank you very much, Mr. Mooney. And like I will not take much of your time as we are already done with the presentations. Just a brief discussions on the queries that are being received from your side, which I consider too important. Like these queries are important to answer as founder of this institute. So starting from the query that you have raised, Mr. Mooney, like obviously that's something very personal. So yes, I am the youngest qualified ADIT in Pakistan. And before moving on to the queries, basically, let me just sum up the entire session because of the internet. I just found a few things were not clearly communicated. So just let me sum up the entire session. What we have discussed in this session is like we are offering foreign tax certifications that include certification in international taxation, certification in transfer pricing, and modular certification, which covers international taxation and transfer pricing both. So if you are interested in appearing in any of any of this certification, you can just appear in either of the certification, or if you are intending, like for example, to appear for the ADIT, and then then you have to qualify the required papers. For example, paper one, which pertains to principles of international taxation, paper two, which is jurisdictional, and we are offering the Singapore option as earlier communicated by Babar and referred by the Rory. So, and paper three pertains to the thematic module where we are offering the transfer pricing. तो अब इसमें जो बेसिकली जो क्वेश्चंस आए उसको मैं, क्योंकि आपने व्हाट्सएप नंबर भी स्टार्टिंग में शेयर किया था, तो जो क्वेश्चंस हैं उसको मैं जल्दी जल्दी जो है वो सम अप करते हुए, डिस्कस करते हुए जो है वो फिर हम जो भी जनरल क्यूएन है उसको हम एड्रेस कर सकते हैं. So, the general question, the first question that I've received is like, can you please tell us broadly about the topics that would be covered in the certification in international taxation and transfer pricing? Okay, so these courses are very comprehensive, and like I'm sure Rory would second this. Like these syllabus, like if we just refer to the syllabus is very comprehensive. However, like briefly, if I just tell you the topics that are there in the international taxation, so उसमें हम बात करेंगे basic principles of international tax laws की बात करेंगे, हम उसमें जो है वो double tax treaties की बात करेंगे. We are going to talk on the OECD model tax convention. Beside this, we are also going to discuss the transfer pricing and thin capitalization rules, and we are going to discuss how the international tax avoidance is being done and how we need to stop those international tax avoiding things. सो अगर हम बात करें ट्रांसफर प्राइसिंग की, तो ट्रांसफर प्राइसिंग के अंदर बेसिकली वी आर गोइंग टू डिस्कस द फोर मोर लाइक important thing, the fundamentals of the transfer pricing. We are going to discuss the arm's length principle. We are going to discuss the functional analysis, comparability analysis. We are going to discuss the transfer pricing methods, permanent establishment. Like for all of these topics, we have got the like course facilitators and guest speakers that Babar earlier mentioned, that one of the course like guest speaker is from USA. He's leading the he's the managing director of the Andersons, and previously he was leading the international tax department in USA of KPMG. Another, we have got the expert from the Middle East, Shabana. She is very good in transfer pricing things. So we will try to cover, we will try to give you the international exposure. ठीक है, ये सारे टॉपिक्स को कवर करने के साथ साथ अच्छा, फिर दूसरा जो क्वेश्चन आया कि हाउ यू विल टेक द कोर्स, लाइक वेदर सेशंस वुड बी हेल्ड ड्यूरिंग द ऑफिस आवर्स और वीकेंड्स, और किस तरह से इसको जो है वो हम मैनेज करेंगे. तो देखें, वी आर गोइंग टू ट्राई टू शेड्यूल दी सेशंस ओवर वीकेंड. हाउएवर, ऑब्वियसली वी नीड टू सी द अवेलेबिलिटी ऑफ द गेस्ट स्पीकर्स. सो if any one of the guest speakers is not available on the weekends, so we are going to move those sessions to the weekdays. However, we are going to provide you the recorded sessions which will be available till the end of the session. ठीक है. अच्छा, फिर एक और क्वेश्चन आया कि सर, आई एम अ मेंबर ऑफ ICAP, वेदर इट विल हेल्प मी इन गेटिंग द CPTRs. सो यस, देयर इज अ गुड न्यूज़ दैट वी आर इन डिस्कशन विद द इंस्टीट्यूट्स इंक्लूडिंग ICAP, ICMAP, ACCA, PIFA, IFA, and we are expecting a very good response and positive response from their side too. Not only for this certification, rather they are going to engage us for the other certifications too. If we talk about the local Pakistani taxation that we are sooner going to announce, like certification in as tax professional, CTP basically. So that will also be an internationally recognized certification. So later on, I'll address on this part too. Another question that we have received is, sir, I'm working in finance department of a company. Please suggest how would it help me. तो देखें, जनरली फाइनेंस फंक्शन अगर हम पाकिस्तान की बात करें तो जो फाइनेंस के लोग होते हैं वही टैक्स वाले एरिया भी देख रहे होते हैं. ठीक है, लेकिन अगर आप आइसोलेशन के अंदर भी फाइनेंस के अंदर हैं तो ऑब्वियसली यू विल बी डीलिंग विद द क्रॉस बॉर्डर ट्रांजैक्शंस. ठीक है, अब आजकल के सिनेरियो के अंदर हम बात करें तो ये नहीं हो सकता कि आपको इंटरनेशनल ट्रांजैक्शंस ना कर रहे हो. जनरली ऐसा नहीं हो सकता. ठीक है, एक्सपोर्ट्स आप कर रहे होंगे डिफरेंट, तो आपको फोरकास्टिंग के अंदर, बजटिंग के अंदर कहीं ना कहीं जो है वो इसकी रेलेवेंस आपको नजर आएगी. अच्छा, इसी तरह से एक वन मोर क्वेश्चन आई हैव गॉट, सर, आई एम प्रेजेंटली अ स्टूडेंट ऑफ ACCA. Do you think I'll be able to manage it with my existing studies? See, a very I think many of the students who are there or who are going to listen it later on, obviously we are conducting this session during the working hours, so obviously many of the students are unable to attend and many of the professionals were not able to join us. So for them, like obviously देखें, आपकी जो प्राइमरी फोकस है वो तो आपकी जो आप सर्टिफिकेशन कर रहे हैं वो तो उस पर रहेगा, लेकिन ऑब्वियसली दिस इज गोइंग टू कॉम्प्लीमेंट योर एग्जिस्टिंग सर्टिफिकेशन. ठीक है, आप ये ना करें कि आप एक साथ पूरा ADIT जो है वो, अगर आपने फॉर एग्जांपल सोचा है कि मैंने करना है तो आप एक साथ ले लें. ठीक है, यू कैन टेक योर टाइम. फॉर एग्जांपल आप जो है वो पढ़ना शुरू कर दें अभी. ठीक है, उसके बाद आप जो है वो 6 मंथ्स और ले लें उसकी प्रिपरेशन में, उसके बाद आप एग्जाम्स के लिए अपेयर हो जाएं. ठीक है, तो ये काम आप कर सकते हैं कि अगर आप स्टूडेंट हैं, क्योंकि बहुत सारे स्टूडेंट्स की जो है these things in this way. Yeah, like another interesting question that I've received is like, being the youngest ADIT of Pakistan, like how it helped you in your career progression. ठीक है, ये तो आपके लिए जो है वो मेरा ख्याल है कि एक रेलिवेंट जो है वो बात है, और सब हर कोई जो है वो जानना चाहेगा कि देखें, ऑब्वियसली आई थिंक दिस सर्टिफिकेशन हैज गिवन मी अ मेजर शिफ्ट इन माय करियर प्रोग्रेशन व्हेन आई गॉट क्वालिफाइड फ्रॉम द एडीआईटी. सही है, तो आई गॉट ऑफर्स फ्रॉम द वेस्टर्न कंट्रीज, नॉट ओनली माई सेल्फ, लाइक एनी एडीआईटी और एनी पर्सन हु हैज डन दी सर्टिफिकेशन वुड be like employers would want them to come on their panel. So I've got offers from USA, UK for the jobs, but obviously I'm staying in Pakistan, so I prefer to work here. uh, अगर आप फॉर एग्जांपल अपनी कंपनी की बात करें जहाँ भी आप काम करें, तो डेफिनेटली आपको एक एज जरूर मिलेगा, ठीक है, एक रिकग्निशन, एक जो है वो प्रोफेशनल साउंडनेस के साथ जो है वो ये चीज़ें आपके आपके जो है वो हेल्प आउट हो रही होंगी. अच्छा, फिर एक और जनरल क्वेरी कि हाउ दिस सर्टिफिकेशन इज गोइंग टू हेल्प अस. ठीक है, तो ऑब्वियसली एज आई ऑलरेडी एड्रेस दिस क्वेश्चन दैट के जो रैपिडली चेंजिंग टैक्स इन्वायरमेंट है ओवरऑल, अगर आप वर्ल्ड को देखें तो जिस तरह से हम ऑटोमेटिक एक्सचेंज ऑफ इन्फॉर्मेशन की तरफ जा रहे हैं, ठीक है, तो पाकिस्तान सिर्फ पाकिस्तान की इन्फॉर्मेशन नहीं लिमिटेड है. अब पाकिस्तान ने कोई 80+ कंट्रीज के साथ जो है वो डाटा एक्सचेंज भी कर लिया है. ठीक है, तो वो सारी चीज़ें जो है वो आपको हेल्प आउट करेंगी. और फिर ऑब्वियसली बहुत सारे लोग जो है वो पाकिस्तान के बाहर मूव आउट करना चाहते हैं. फॉर एग्जांपल, इफ यू आर प्लानिंग टू मूव टू मिडल ईस्ट, यू आर प्लानिंग टू मूव टू सऊदी या यूके, यूएस, so definitely this is going to help you out, as Rory also gave you like the employers list. So I think उसमें सारे ही जो बड़े एम्प्लॉयर्स हैं वर्ल्ड के, वो सारे ही उसके अंदर जो है वो कवर्ड होगा. तो डेफिनेटली जो है वो, अच्छा मैं अभी एक एक चीज़ मैं आपको बताऊं कि जब मैंने किया था, मैंने क्वालिफाई किया था, तो उस केस के अंदर जो है वो राइट आफ्टर अ मंथ आई गॉट एन ऑफर फ्रॉम यूनाइटेड स्टेट्स. ठीक है, ऑब्वियसली उन्होंने लिंक्डइन के थ्रू और जहाँ से भी जो है वो लेकिन ठीक है, तो इस तरह आपको भी जो है वो इंशाल्लाह जो है वो ऑफर्स आ सकती हैं. अच्छा, फिर many people are asking from us like is it necessary to give the exams, or what if I only attend the session and don't give the exams. ठीक है, ये बहुत सारे प्रोफेशनल जो इंडस्ट्री के अंदर बैठे हैं, स्टूडेंट्स नहीं हैं, पढ़ चुके हैं, अब जितना पढ़ना था, अब वो कह रहे हैं कि सिर्फ हम अगर अटेंड कर लें तो क्या उसका भी कोई बेनिफिट हमें होगा. तो ऑब्वियसली वी आर गोइंग टू प्रोवाइड यू अ पार्टिसिपेशन सर्टिफिकेशन इफ यू आर नॉट लाइक इंटरेस्टेड इन अपियरिंग फॉर द सीआईओटी एग्जाम्स, ऑल्दो विच इज रिकमेंडेड. लेकिन अगर आप नहीं करना चाहते तो हम पार्टिसिपेशन की सर्टिफिकेशन देंगे, और साथ में हम जो है वो एक इंटरनेशनल बॉडी के साथ एक कोलैबोरेशन करने जा रहे हैं अपार्ट फ्रॉम दिस द करंट ऑर्गेनाइजेशन, जिसमें जो है वो हम आपको लोकली जो है वो सर्टिफिकेट्स इशू करेंगे इंटरनेशनली रिकग्नाइज. ठीक है, ये भी एक जो है वो हमारी अभी अंडर डिस्कशन है, तो इस पर थोड़ा सा प्रीमेच्योर है, तो इस पर अभी हम बात नहीं करते. लेकिन फिर होगा ये कि आप अगर पढ़ लेते हैं तो फिर जो आपको सर्टिफिकेट दिया जाएगा वो हमारी ऑर्गेनाइजेशन के साथ साथ आपको एक इंटरनेशनली रिकग्नाइज सर्टिफिकेट भी दिया जाएगा. तो अब ये आपका डिस्क्रिप्शन है वेदर यू आर interested in appearing for the exams, or whether you want to study, whether you want to just take the classes for your own learning. तो ये आपके अपने ऊपर जो है वो डिपेंड करेगा. अच्छा, फिर लास्टली जो है वो एक और अच्छा क्वेश्चन ये है कि लाइक आर यू प्लानिंग टू ऑफर एनी लोकल इनकम टैक्स एंड सेल्स टैक्स सर्टिफिकेशंस टू. See, as Babar mentioned in his slides, that yes, we are planning to offer. Presently, there is no internationally recognized certification, and from this platform, I will also request Rory if he can also help us out in introducing the Pakistan option, which is most demanding, as the queries are also saying. So, uh, बिसाइड दिस, हम जो है वो दूसरी इंटरनेशनल ऑर्गेनाइजेशन के साथ भी अंडर डिस्कशन है. ठीक है, कि अगर हम यहाँ पे आपको जो है वो एक जो है वो सर्टिफाइड टैक्स प्रोफेशनल सॉर्ट ऑफ थिंग अगर हम आपको ऑफर करें, तो आपको इंटरनेशनली रिकग्नाइज जो है वो एक सर्टिफिकेशन डिग्री मिलेगी इंशाल्लाह. ठीक है, इस पे भी हम जो है वो काम कर रहे हैं इंशाल्लाह. कुछ ही टाइम के अंदर हम आपको इसके बारे में बताएंगे, क्योंकि बहुत सारे लोग ये जानना चाहते हैं, क्योंकि टैक्स इंडस्ट्री के अंदर है, टैक्स प्रोफेशन के अंदर है, और वो चाह रहे हैं कि हम जो है वो बाहर अगर मूव करें तो हमें एटलीस्ट कोई रिकग्निशन तो मिले. अब प्रेजेंटली कोई इस तरह की चीज़ अवेलेबल नहीं है. अगर आप सीए कर रहे हैं, आईसी में करें, तो वहाँ आप टैक्स पाकिस्तान का पढ़ते हैं, लेकिन इसके अलावा लोकल इंस्टीट्यूशन है जो कर रहे हैं, लेकिन इंटरनेशनली रिकग्नाइज कोई चीज़ नहीं है. तो हम इस पर काम कर रहे हैं, और इस पर जो है वो अगर आप यहाँ से पाकिस्तान इंस्टीट्यूट ऑफ टैक्सेशन से जो है वो ये सर्टिफिकेशन अगर करते हैं, तो फिर आपको जो है वो इंटरनेशनली, ऑब्वियसली उसमें ये होगा कि 3 पेपर्स होंगे शायद, इनकम टैक्स का, सेल्स टैक्स का, इस तरह से हम मतलब जो भी प्लान आउट होता है, तो फिर उसमें आपको अगर वो 3 पेपर्स दे देते हैं, तो आपको वो जैसे एडीआईटी आप लिख सकते हैं, वैसे ही जो है वो आप उसकी भी जो भी होगी चीज़ें वो आप अपने साथ मेंशन कर सकते हैं. So I think this is all from my side, and like in the end, before coming to the general Q&A session, I would like to thank you all for attending the today's session and giving us the like overwhelming response over the like more than 100 200 students had registered for the orientation session online, and most of them have said to provide us the recorded session because of the timings that we are conducting this session. So thank you very much. We are honored, and we'll continue giving the best quality tax education and producing the premium tax professionals from this platform of Pakistan Institute of Taxation. And I would also like to thank Mr. Rory for giving his time and representing the CIOT UK in Pakistan from this platform, and Mr. Ali Mooney for moderating the today's session. Thank you again, and over to you, Mr. Mooney.
Right. Thanks, Muzammil. So what next? Do we have, Muzammil, 4 to 5 minutes to
Yeah.
address any?
We can take the queries. Like anyone who is interested in raising the queries, he can just put the queries in the chat box, and we can then either myself or Rory will answer those queries. Then.
Okay, so there are a couple of people who have the queries. For example, let me take some queries and either of you can answer, right?
Sure.
So
Sure.
so there's one, Mr. Ahmed saying, what is the worth of someone who does just ADIT? Can this be a primary qualification?
See, first of all, I would like to just give a brief about the like after me, Rory can also answer. But we are not saying that you start doing AD. Obviously, it's a complex thing. It's not that much easier for you guys to do. But what you can do is you can start off with one certification. You can just plan out your one certification at a time. You can start with the certification in international taxation. Prepare yourself for that. If you find easy, you can just move on to the next certification. And once you are done with the three of those certifications, then you will be recognized as ADIT. So ADIT is not a single paper based thing, but you have to give at least three papers. So from them, like what we are offering is, once again I'm repeating that we are saying that either you can become a certified in international taxation, from where like if you are going to appear in the exams of CIOT, so you will be getting the certificate from them. And if you are not going to appear, then you are going to get the participation certificate from our side. और फिर हम जो अभी आपसे एक बात भी की कि अगर हम यहाँ पे लोकली एग्जाम्स कंडक्ट करते हैं तो फिर उसमें हम एक और बॉडी के साथ अंडर डिस्कशन है कि हम आपको वो चीज़ प्रोवाइड यहाँ ही से जो है वो इंटरनेशनल रिकग्निशन प्रोवाइड कर सकते हैं। वो CIOT की नहीं होगी, वो किसी और की होगी, लेकिन उस पर फिर हम लेटर ऑन जो है वो हमारे फेसबुक पेज से और लिंक्डइन से आपको अपडेट्स थ्रू हो जाएंगी। ठीक है, तो ये इस तरह से आप कर सकते हैं। आप एट अ टाइम जो है ये ना करें कि एक साथ सारे मतलब जो है वो पेपर्स लें। दिस इज नॉट लाइक चार्टर्ड अकाउंटेंसी, दिस इज नॉट लाइक ACCA. इट इज अ बिट डिफिकल्ट, इट इज अ बिट कॉम्प्लेक्स, इट इज गोइंग टू बी अ बिट different for you guys. So I would suggest that taking one paper at a time would be the right choice. If Rory, anything like that?
I would absolutely echo all of that. Yes, I mean, in terms of the worth of doing it as well, because it is recognised, obviously, by the CIOT, by a leading, globally recognised tax professional body. It has that kind of additional cachet to it, and consequently, employers around the world increasingly recognise it as being kind of a gold standard for international tax specialists.
Right. So there's one more query flowing in, and I understand this is a journal query as well. And this has been covered throughout as well. That will this qualification help people who are willing to move abroad? So Rory, if you can take this first.
Yep, certainly. It is a globally mobile qualification, and we've seen obviously some of the ways in which you can tailor at it. For instance, doing the Singapore option as one of the option modules. That isn't the only option. If you want to do, for instance, that there is no formal requirement that you have to do Singapore and transfer pricing. You can do any two potentially of the various option modules. They are kind of freely interchangeable. We also, further to that, if you once you've done the ADIT qualification, even once you've done the three modules and gotten your full ADIT certification, if you then are planning to move to another country, and that country has a jurisdiction ADIT module, then you can also do that as kind of an additional top up. If you wanted to kind of get that additional recognition, and you can always do more ADIT exams if you want to. In terms of the mobility of it, though, because a large chunk of the syllabus, particularly for the principles of international taxation module and the transfer pricing module, is kind of universal around the world. Certainly, those two modules give you a really good basis on which to to travel with international tax. The topics that you encounter those in those modules are equally relevant no matter what country you're in, or if you move countries. whether you stay in Pakistan or go elsewhere or come back to Pakistan, it's entirely would be valuable to you, I think.
Right. Muzammil, Atif has a question that if you can just please shed light on local and international recognition, as what is the thin line between these two recognitions, so every of the participant can take the benefit out of that.
See, what we have already discussed here is what we are offering is, if you are going to differentiate between the local and international taxation. First of all, I would like to say that we are offering both of those certifications. One is along with the ADIT and CIUT, and the other certifications that pertains to the domestic certifications, regarding the income tax and sales tax. We are also offering that. So if you are interested in appearing in any of those certifications, so I think it would be up to your discretion. However, I would request Rory if he can help us in introducing the Pakistan option from the CIOT platform. That would again be a very as you can see the queries that are being asked regarding the Pakistan option. So if you can also do some sort of commitment from this platform, so we'll be highly honored. And regarding the recognition, obviously, this institute was probably established before 1930, if we talk about CIOT. So this is again a very established institute. So the recognition, as far as recognitions are concerned, so you would be getting the both international and local recognition. However, for example, जैसे मैंने डिस्कस किया कि अगर आप एग्जाम्स अपेयर नहीं करते CIOT के, तो फिर उस केस के अंदर आप सिर्फ यहाँ से सिर्फ अगर एक ऐसे ही मतलब आप सेशन अटेंड करना चाह रहे हैं, तो उस केस पे भी ऑब्वियसली आपको CPDRs भी मिलेंगे आपकी बॉडी के, आपको जो है वो एक जो है वो पार्टिसिपेशन का सर्टिफिकेट भी मिलेगा, और फिर एक इंटरनेशनल बॉडी के साथ जो हम बात भी करने जा रहे हैं, तो अगर हम यहीं लोकली एग्जाम्स कंडक्ट करें तो आपको वहाँ से भी रिकग्निशन मिल सकती है। लेकिन ये पॉइंट जो है वो थोड़ा सा अभी अंडर डिस्कशन है, तो इसे अभी हम कंक्लूसिव बात नहीं करें। अभी आप जो है वो ये कर सकते हैं कि यू कैन appear for the CIOT exams, or either you can get the participation certification from our side.
Right. Rory, do you have something to add on it?
Yeah, just to add to that as well, by way of further making the qualification more accessible. I think one of our other questions as well was about exam centres and having to pay extra for exam centres in Pakistan. I can just clarify on that one as well while we're on a similar subject. At the moment, because, well, in light of the COVID pandemic, all of the added exams are currently delivered online at home, so you don't need to go to an exam centre. You don't need to pay any additional fee to sit the exam. Obviously, we charge the exam entry fee that you pay when you enter for the exam, but that's the only exam fee that the CIOT currently charges. If and when the pandemic ends, and we will obviously be reviewing at that point whether to resume the traditional kind of exam centre-based model of delivering the exams. If we were to go back to that, that would be as an option. We would still, I think, whatever happens, we're still going to continue to offer the option of sitting the exams online at home, or at your office, essentially anywhere that you've got access to a computer. And our exam software is pretty basic, and it runs on most machines basically. So there is that. In terms of introducing new jurisdiction options as part of the added syllabus, as I say, when we first launched the qualification in 2004, there were only 4 different exam options. There's now 17 altogether. Where we have sustained demand to a sufficient, and a sufficient number of students wanting to sit a different exam, we can develop an exam to meet that, develop a syllabus on a particular jurisdiction to meet that demand. We are a non-profit, so essentially, as long as it's financially sustainable for us to do so, and as long as it is meeting a genuine demand, that's something that we can develop going forward, and that's how a lot of the different jurisdiction modules that we currently offer came about. It came about through stakeholders and students in those countries, not being supported by a module that was specific to their country's tax system. but demonstrating that there were enough of them effectively to cover the cost of us developing that, and then we were able to do so. So that's something that we've done a number of times in the past, and we're always interested to explore if there is that kind of proven demand for it.
Right. So I think I have two more questions for the day. The one is Nargis is asking that she's planning to carry on with one paper for now, right? So would it add some value? Will it be worthwhile to carry on one paper? And the second one is, are you guys planning to add any more options? Why is the Singapore only option? So if you can take these two questions, please, Muzammil.
Regarding the other question that, like first question, I would request Rory to answer, and the second question, I would say that regarding the Singapore option, we are starting off with the one option, providing the tuition for the one option, and later on, we are also planning to add more subjects like including the UK and US modules in it. So the basic certification, the most, as Rory also mentioned regarding the Pakistan option, so the most demanding subjects or the most demanding certifications are the certification in international taxation and the certification in transfer pricing. So initially we are going to start off with these three subjects, and later on we are planning to add more options in this like our course.
Right. So Rory, the one question for you, will taking one qualification only add value?
Yes, I would say so. Absolutely. Whether it's the principles of international taxation module, the transfer pricing module, if you do choose to start with one of those, I'd say that's a very good strategy. Because you would have a 5-year student registration period. If at a later stage you want to sit additional modules, you're welcome to go on and do that. And kind of, as I said earlier, it's in the 5-year student registration period, which is quite a long period for a qualification of this type. It's really built with that in mind and designed, acknowledging that a lot of our students do lead busy lives, and you might not want to or have the capacity or the time to sit all of the exams straight away. You might well want to do one exam, get the certificate for that, and take that with you, and that will hopefully help you to a great extent already in your career. And then a couple of years later, if you want to then resume your added studies and do the other 2 exams potentially, or do another 1 exam, get another modular certificate, then that's entirely up to you, and a great way of doing it.
Right. Thank you. With this, I would like to end, but I would also like to congratulate the principal owners with my heartfelt felicitations for this launch. I hope all the best to you guys. I hope I have all the best wishes for the students pursuing this, and I hope that this will add a great milestones to your careers. So with this, my special thanks to Babar, Miss Aisha for giving the great presentations, to Muzammil for enlightening us with how the process is, and last but not the least, my special thanks to Rory for taking out the time and giving the presentation, a very insightful presentation, how we will be moving and how will this qualification add value to their careers. I would request them that there are certain questions flowing in. So you guys, if on the WhatsApp number, so you guys maybe respond to them as well. All the best to you. Have a good day. Bye bye.
Thank you. Bye bye.
Thank you, everybody. Bye bye.
Bye. Thank you.